CQ Field Day, CQ Field Day. This is Whiskey 8 Hotel Papa. Whiskey 8 Hotel Papa Field Day.
It's really the art of communications is what we're involved here. That's our interest. Formally, it's amateur radio. And by that, we are volunteers. We have our radio operators, and we have our engineers and our technicians who put up the infrastructure that's needed. The guys setting up the antennas, stringing wires in between trees. We have a big tower right out to the side of the building here. And those are the technicians and the engineers who are part of the program. Ham radio is a hobby, and it's a hobby primarily with technically minded folks. Like I said, we have our radio operators, and their concerns primarily are trying to make contact with far distant stations.
There's a lot of ham operators out there like me. We became hams as a hobby, but also because we know that when all the power goes out for any reason, all of our cell phones, all of our communications die, except amateur radio. And while we do this as a hobby and while we have fun with this and we just screw around, we just talk to each other about the weather or about our hobby on the radio, when the power does go out, all of us are going to be raising our hands first in line. How can I help? What can I do? You know, the amateur radio guys will all be there to help.
We're prepared to be part of the initial team that number one, can spot tornado and funnel clouds as they're approaching, provide this information to the weather service so that they can get that information to the residents. And then after the storm passes, amateur radio operators operate mobily in their cars. They have transceivers in their cars, and they can drive around and they can report where the damage is and where help is needed and radio that back to the authorities. So the event this weekend, which is Field Day, is preparation for a time when emergency communications is needed. What's happening is amateur radio operators across the country are on the air and they're testing their equipment. They're testing their generators. We have generator power here. We have solar power here. If we turn it into a contest, more or less, and the idea is to contact as many stations as possible around the country in preparation for a time when emergency communications and information has to be transmitted.
November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Whiskey 8 Hotel Papa. Whiskey 8 Hotel Papa. Do you copy?
W8 Hotel Papa. This is NA1SS. I have you loud and clear.
November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. We are really happy to hear you. Solid 5-9 here. And yeah, you got a room full of people here, so please prepare for third-party traffic.
Great. Davis Aerospace Technical High School, welcome aboard International Space Station. We are Expedition 68, and we are looking forward to answering your questions. Over.
My name is Marcus Jones. I'm in the 12th grade with the flight training course. And my question is, how much does the ISS orbit decay over time before correction is required? Over.
Park Amateur Radio Club, our motto is service through education. So the idea is we're trying to get the word out to young hobbyists and get them interested in wireless communications.